for a series, you also need an overarching plot or character arc for the whole season in order to tie the different episodes together and also to maintain your audience interest. At first I thought there was no arc in Drifting Dragons, and I wasn't even sure that I would finish watching all the episodes of season 1. And I ended up binge watching all 12 episodes within like 12 hours. Hi, I'm Kit, and I'm going to talk about Drifting Dragons. This is a Netflix original anime series. Well, the first question, of course, is it worth watching? And my answer is yes, a resounding yes. It looks like a kiddie anime at first, but the characters and the world does draw you in after a few episodes, or maybe when you're halfway through. The first few episodes are short, episodic, 20-minute stories. But the last half of the season consists of 2 multiple episode stories. And those work very well, and they're long enough to almost be standalone movies by themselves. The length allows the stories to really work better than the short episodes. And Drifting Dragons is set in this imaginary world, and we follow the crew of this airship that goes around hunting dragons. The 2 main characters are Takita, a teenage girl who's obviously there as otaku bait. She's a new member of the crew, and this is a common device. You have this new member, so she's actually the audience proxy. So the other crew members have to explain the world, the jobs on the airship, the characteristics of the dragons to her, and in so doing they're actually explaining it to the audience. The other main character would be Mika, who's like this bad boy character. He's their top but also very reckless dragon hunter, and his sole interest in life is food, and he really loves eating dragon meat. The other characters are slowly developed also, but they aren't as prominent or as interesting. The world of Drifting Dragons is familiar to fans of Miyazaki Hayao. It's in this kind of like 1930s alternate universe where you do have machine guns and internal combustion engines, but also this kind of like quaint 1930s kind of technology. So the airship itself is actually quite reminiscent of the craft in Laputa, including the crow's nest at the top of the airship. That really looks like it was inspired by Laputa. But you also have the whole crew dynamic, which is a bit like uh, that of Joss Whedon's Firefly, which was a space opera, and you've got this crew of misfits that travels from planet to planet in a kind of like semi illegal way, sometimes smuggling things. Yeah, but Drifting Dragons, they're almost like an airborne or whaling ship. And yeah, instead of hunting whales, they hunted dragons. Now, strangely enough, the stories most of the time seem pitched at a younger audience, maybe younger teens. But in Singapore, at least, it has an NC-16 rating, which is unusual considering the rather childish storylines. But there are like some things that are quite adult. For example, there's this young girl who has been sold into a house of sin, and the killing and the butchering of the dragons can be a bit graphic. If you're a vegan, yeah, you will not like a lot of the hunting and butchering scenes. In that sense, it seems very Japanese. I mean, when you think of Japanese food, you think of them slicing up large tuna. Yeah, the strangely enough, the animation does go into quite a lot of detail into this. Also, in the cooking of the dragon meat, various different dragon meat dishes, including rather simple recipes, are shown. For a series, you also need an overarching plot or character arc for the whole season in order to tie the different episodes together and also to maintain your audience interest. At first, I thought there was no arc in Drifting Dragons, and I wasn't even sure that I would finish watching all the episodes of season 1. And I ended up binge watching all 12 episodes within like 12 hours. The arc is actually the humans' attitude towards hunting and killing dragons. I mean, you do show them hunting with joy, with glee, and really slobbering over the dragon meat, which supposedly tastes better than beef or pork or any other type of meat. But yeah, like I said, they don't shy away from showing you the butchering, the reality of killing these dragons. The dragons are quite small. They are maybe 10, 20 feet long. Or at least the dragons hunted by this crew, because they have a small airship. They are larger dragons that they are unable to hunt. And these dragons are shown reacting to being harpooned, They show pain. They show a survival instinct. They strike back at these dragon hunters. And there are many different types of dragons. Most of them are rather beautiful, rather inventive. A lot of thought was put into their designs. So you do feel the sense of loss, the cruelty of killing these magnificent beasts. And you do see hints sometimes of the crew also regretting hunting and killing dragons. And that for me is the arc for this season. And the nice thing about it is that it's not done in a very preachy way. It's like 95% of the time they're just like, yeah, hey, this is our job, right? And the meat is delicious. Yeah. But they do let it slip in sometimes that there is another aspect to this. Which was, I thought, really good storytelling, very subtly done, not preachy. And it does hold your interest because you keep on waiting for some of the crew, especially Takita or even Mika, to change and to maybe even give up hunting. So, like Dune, the dragons, the way dragons affect the culture there is explored to a certain extent. Not as well as Dune. I mean, Dune is a desert world, and water is scarce. So the culture of Dune was really shaped by it. So, if you visit someone and you spit on his table, that is considered being polite because you are actually sacrificing some of your water. And this is what a lot of science fiction does not get. They have this unusual world, but it's only used as a background. And you do not see how it changes the people there. Or most of the time, the people there are just like transplanted Americans in the 20th or 21st century into this world. And this strange world, let's say a snow world or something, it has no effect on them at all. They're just normal people. But in Drifting Dragons, you do feel to a certain extent the kind of like dragon culture. My main criticisms are technical. There's no clear hunt leader, so like Mika just goes crazy sometimes and does reckless things to hunt the dragons. No, the command hierarchy is not very well followed. You've also got weird things where like sometimes the people in the engine room decide on the speed that the airship needs to go instead of following instructions from the bridge. That's really weird. But most of all, it's the construction of the airship itself, where it's based on ships, kind of like nautical design with railings and planks and steel doors and bunk beds. But there doesn't seem to have been any consideration for weight. I mean, on a ship, you're not really worried about weight, but you are worried about space. In an airship, weight is paramount, and everything there just looks very heavy, which it's something that probably won't bother most people. Oh, and another thing is that while walking around on the deck, uh, they don't secure themselves with rope, with lifelines, in case they slip overboard. They don't even have parachutes. And I mean, if you're looking like a 1930s kind of technology level, with auto gyros, what you call a gyrocopter in the animation, yeah, you definitely should have parachutes. So yeah, those are my nitpicks. That's my review. Definitely worth watching. Uh, if you find it a bit unengaging, watch a few episodes first. I think you'll like it.